I have been excited about this presentation, but I feel little hesitant before this enlightened audience. Before me, there was a beautiful presentation on a beautiful topic by a beautiful girl, whole audience glued, and now I have to start with a disaster where my presentation is lost. Nonetheless, I will say something. I come from India. India is a multicultural, multi-religious, multilingual, functional, effective, largest democracy of the world. We have one of the longest continuing history in the mankind of the civilizations of the history. We have continued without any break in the recorded history, recorded history. There has been continuity of the religions. One religion has come, other has gone. The new religion has emerged. We have lived together for the years. Now, talking about all this, first day of the presentation was more Turkey, Russia-centric. Then it turned out to be Europe-centric. I tried to look the whole issue of, global peace and security from international perspective. I'm a teacher of law. I teach law. And so by profession, I am a seeker of justice. I do not write judgments that it can be done by the judges. I am the one who look for justice, who try to conceptualize justice, who brings philosophies of justice, so on and so forth. So where is the conception of a just global order? Just global order. In these times of what has been called global insecurity, can we still hope to be thinking of a just global order? And my premise is, my thinking is, yes, we can be optimistic of a just global order. Now, what is this just global order that we may be optimistic about? Traditionally, the just global order has been defined in terms of ideology, various kinds of ideologies. There has been ideologies of the capitalist world. There has been ideologies of the communist world. There has been ideologies of the socialist. There has been some kind of modern thinking, one nation, one world, one community, one people, something of that kind. That is, in the essence of political oneness, gubernatorial oneness, institutional oneness of the mankind. My thinking is all these kinds of ideological, thinking about the just global order has only resulted in creating conflicts between the ideologies. These ideologies at times have led to creation of extremism. It has led to a radicalization of the human population, and a radicalized, human population have actually led to conflict, and thereof various kinds of conflict that we see around us. Amidst this situation of conflicts, we have to rekindle the idea which would be little different from these set defined kinds of ideologies to just global order. So what are those alternate kinds of ideas which I am thinking to rekindle? That is the idea of optimism, the idea of hopefulness, ideas of wisdom, ideas of innate piousness of the human being that we are. Now, I heard one of the distinguished seasoned diplomat from Germany. He said after Second World War, Germany turned out to be a pacifist society. Now Germany is facing lots of problems. Yet he said that I am not hopeless. There are optimism. So based on this psyche of, this thinking of optimism, hopefulness, and innate goodness of the mankind, I seek to frame or argue an alternate process of just global order. It is that if historically we see the mankind has progressed over the years, over the centuries, over the millennium. What we were 2,000 years from today, what we were 1,000 years from today, what we were 500 years from today, what we were 100 years from today. At every stage of the civilization, the mankind has become better, better, better. And on this premise, I say, in years to come, the mankind would become still more better. In spite of all regions of conflicts that may be around us. Historically, if you look at the history, we have been becoming better, better, better. Better in terms of what? Better not in terms of establishing one religion, propagating one ideology, fighting for XYZ thing, but better in terms of making a more content, more fulfilling, more quality-wise, more better living on this earth. Content-wise, quality-wise, the life which is there on the earth today, it is far more better than what it may have been the year, if any time in the previous century. And this march of the mankind towards a better quality of life and towards a more fulfilling life, in all possible sense of the term, more fulfilling, this march will go on further, further, and further. Now, where from this optimism of an onward movement of a more, say, fulfilling, more content-wise, rich quality of human life comes from? That comes from multiple factors. Number one, what we witness today is a technology-driven globalization, which promises to bring the benefits of the technology to every nook and corner of the earth, howsoever remote it may be. No, the technology would be there. I come from a village where you do not have electricity in my village. You do not have water taps in my village. You do not have roads in my village. I have to walk almost 2 kilometers to reach my home. Yet, mobile phone is everywhere in almost, say, 70% of the village population. People travel 2 kilometers to get their mobile charged from the city. Why? Because electricity is not there. And coming from that village, today I stand here at an international forum. Not only because I wanted to be what I am, but also because there have been very strong push of the technology, of the cooperation of the people to bring me from that remotest part of the village to this august, say, audience or this august house. And we have to have faith in that technology-driven ideology. Although I do admit that technology has driven or has outgrown the wisdom of the mankind. And so we find the same technology failing us when nuclear bombs were dropped in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It was a failure of the human wisdom to contain the technology. There would be such times in the future when such kinds of failure may do come. So we have to tame the technology to do good for the mankind than possibly end up in these things. And there comes the role of cultural diplomacy. Another thing, in last couple of years we find emergence of people-centric, say, politics. It may take the shape of democracy. It may take the shape of limited governance within the nations. It may take the shape of ensuring that the national governments only engage themselves in internationally responsible conduct. And so when we talk of USA, Vietnam War of USA, it is, I hear that USA had to retreat from the Vietnam War under the pressure of their own citizens. They ensured that the government of United States of America behave itself globally responsible. No, but very recently the Germany and Paris, they refused to join US coalition forces against Iraq. Why? Because public pressure was so much that any kind of globally irresponsible conduct will not be accepted. So in every country, you have a citizen, a group of citizens who are looking towards the country and they are assertive, they are ensuring that the government conducts themselves responsibly. Other factors, we talked of the music. Like music, there are variety of ways in which mankind has been interacting with each other. There have been cooperation, multi-level cooperation. No, I was looking for some Indian meals to eat here in Germany. I couldn't get much, I know. But I found German say, companies there in remotest part of my country. Why? Because they are there to do something good, bring about material well-being of the people. So this kind of multicultural, multi-level, multifarious cooperation, which is coming up, which is emerging, and of its own historical course. There may not be any good reason why it is happening, may not be any just evident reason. But as a process of the history, it has been so happening. We have to foster these kinds of things which create sense of hopefulness, the sense of goodness of the mankind. No, often even the title of the workshop was in times of emerging global insecurity. And there again we have to, I seek to caution the audience from the term insecurity. This is, at times insecurity may be very, very legitimate, and we need to address those legitimate insecurities. Often the insecurities may be only perceptional, and those insecurities can lead to much grave dangers. The sense of insecurity may itself become a threat to the security. I believe I am standing here in Berlin. Since 1939 till 1989, Berlin was possibly the witness of the perceptional sense of insecurity. And this Berlin Wall and everything that was demolished, when people really had sense that, no, we are ultimately one and we wish to good for each other. And then automatically the wall come down. No, so while talking of insecurity, whether in Europe, whether in say Turkey, whether in Russia, whether in my own country, we have to be little cautious. In the sense, let's not magnify it disproportionately, where it itself becomes a threat to security, but at the same time, keep endeavoring, broadening the scope of cultural diplomacy. This is what I can recollect from my supposed to be a PowerPoint presentation. I was given just 10 minutes time. I believe I have done my job. Thank you very much. If you have any question, I'm open for it. Thank you.